Hey guys, and welcome to the video. Today I'll be discussing and going through some tips and tricks that I use to play well in the Fighter Squadron game mode in Star Wars Battlefront. Yes, some things I'll say in this video may be quite basic and obvious to some, but you'd be surprised how many people aren't aware of some of these cool things. First off, let's talk your controls. Your fighter has the ability to do some evasive maneuvers which are auto-mapped to your D-pad controls. Left and right do a sideways barrel roll, and up does a 180 aerial to quickly change your direction. These moves stop you from being locked onto for a short period of time and can help you evade missiles. Also, down on the D-pad toggles your perspective when flying from cockpit to third person. I'd strongly advise to stick to third person unless you want the authentic experience. Also, pulling back on the left thumbstick will slow down your vehicle, making turning easier, but also make you more of a target. Only really use this when focusing down on a target who is trying to evade you by doing this. Secondly, let's get to know your ships and their abilities. There's essentially 3 types of abilities at your disposal. All the fighters have 2 abilities, and the hero ships have 3. Offensive abilities are your proton and homing missiles, which are good for dealing a lot of damage very quickly if you can stay locked on. Defensive abilities, which is your shielding or cloaking, and what I believe is the missile jammer on the Slave 1, these will help you stay alive a bit longer. Finally, you've got mixed abilities, which can be used both offensive and defensive, like the speed boost, which you can use to get a power up faster, or if you want to get out of the fray a bit quicker. Alright, so now we know a bit about how the ships work and what they can do. The next step is just some general tips and tricks. I'll get the blindly obvious out of the way now. If you manage to get the hero ship and don't crash, you'll have a much easier time winning matches and getting kills. They are both really powerful and super resistant to oncoming attacks, which in turn means you'll be alive for a lot longer, if not the whole game, as you can see from the clip on screen. Although it's not essential to be the hero, as you can still play well without it. You'll just die a little more, which isn't so bad, and it's not a bad thing to be able to fly well with all the types of ships. One trick that I've used that helps me a lot, and manages to hinder others, is to simply shoot your lasers in bursts. If you go all out and don't give your guns a chance to cool down, then they'll simply overheat, and you'll be left stuck without any firepower and essentially a sitting falcon. Do you see what I did there? Huh? Ignore what I just said. As you can see, most of the times I encounter enemies, I shoot in bursts, and that little pause in firing gives my weapons that extra second or two just to cool down, which will help me shoot a little bit more for a little bit longer. An obvious tip is to never fly directly straight, as you'll most likely fly right into oncoming fire and be dead before you can have a chance to react. I see people doing this a lot, and it's an easy kill for me. When you're in the fray, keep moving in all directions, and once you grab a kill, look for the next closest ship and start going for that one. If you do get locked on, or someone's behind you, try your best to shake them with those D-pad maneuvers we mentioned a bit earlier. Most of the time there isn't really much you can do when an enemy has you in their sights, but sometimes luck is on your side and you have a teammate there to support you, but just keep flying and sometimes you can make it out alive. If you see this blue shield symbol on a ship you're attacking, it means they have just activated their shielding and your main blasters will have 0 effect. So the best thing to do in this situation is to stop firing with your main blasters and let them cool down, because you don't want them to overheat. And pretty much just wait for their shield to stop before continuing to destroy your opponent. Or, if you have lock-on rockets, fire those and deal some damage while you wait. Remember, the shield only blocks blaster damage, so missiles will still penetrate their defenses. Lastly in this video, I'll discuss the type of pickups that are floating towards the ground on most of the maps. From what I've encountered, there are only a few effects. The one most people will be hunting down is the hero pickup, which lets you fly around as the Slave 1 or the Millennium Falcon, respective to the team you're playing on. There is also a ship repair, which will give you some added health. Also, keep in mind you can still grab these even if you are playing the hero, but these health pickups won't heal you that much. And the last card is, cooldowns refresh faster. But to be honest, there's a lot going on in the map, and most of the time you'll come across these by accident. There isn't really a time where you'll go out of your way to find these, except maybe that hero pickup. Well, that's about all I can muster up for some of the tips and tricks in this video. If I think of any in the future, I'll definitely make a part 2. But for now, enjoy the rest of this video, and I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this helped you out. If you have any tips that I didn't mention in this video, please mention them in the comments down below. Thanks guys, and I'll see you next time.